Hi everybody. Continuing on with our series on the categories of verbal abuse, tonight I bring you category number 11, name calling. This is a fun one. One of the most overt categories of verbal abuse. All name calling is verbally abusive. When I think back of some of the names that my narcissist has called me through the years, I've been called a bitch, lazy as shit, stupid, dumb, stupid and dumb also combined with bitch, an asshole, a loser, a whiner. When I didn't feel like having sex, if he felt like having sex and I was not in the mood or I was tired, I would get told that he was going to start calling me nun. Not like you're thinking. Not nun like N-U-N. Nun like N-O-N-E. And then he would say, none in the morning and none at night. And then he would go and tell people this, that my new name was Nun. The night that I had decided that I had finally had enough and I decided I was leaving him, we were arguing and he screamed at me that I was the dumbest person with a college degree that he had ever met in his life. Another thing you'll find that the narcissist does with name calling is they will look at other abusers, because they're often friends with other dysfunctional people and other abusers. And there was another couple we hung around with, and the husband was horribly verbally abusive to his wife. And he would scream at her that she was a whore. And there was, nothing further from the truth. She's a very nice lady, and God, she puts up with a whole lot. And my husband would tell me that, he would talk about this guy as if like what he was doing to me wasn't wrong. And he would say how awful this guy was, how he didn't understand why she put up with him, and how terrible it was, how he screamed at her that she was a whore. And he would do this like in front of people. Like he would scream at her that she was a whore in front of people. He would do it in front of their young son. Just berate her and belittle her and scream at her that she's a stupid whore and that she's lazy as shit. And my husband thought that he wasn't verbally abusive because he didn't yell at me that I was a whore. But it's not that bad if he calls me a loser and a bitch and stupid and an asshole. Did I mention that? He used to scream at me that I was an asshole occasionally. But God forbid if I yelled back at King Infant that no, he was indeed the asshole. Because, oh God, no. You don't call King Infant an asshole. Sometimes I wouldn't even call him a name, and I would get accused of it. Like, I would be defending myself. He would attack me, basically. He would accuse me of attacking him, and verbally, and then say that I was attacking him, and he's just trying to do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. And it would usually involve some manipulation of his, and he would claim he was just trying to do the right thing, and he's always the asshole. Like it was some injustice that I felt like I was being attacked, because oftentimes he would be attacking me. He would be screaming at me, belittling me. The kids would be hearing the whole thing, and but he would claim that he was justified in his belittling and screaming and name calling, because he was just fighting for what was right, whatever manipulation he was trying to accomplish. And he would scream, "But I'm the asshole. I'm always the asshole," even though no one actually had called him an asshole. Another thing I would get is, and this one, I mean, this one was it was more kind of jokey, but very childish. And he would yell at me that I was a mean pants. This was before we were married, because we lived in an apartment that didn't have washer and dryer hookups. And so every Saturday I would spend 3 hours of my Saturday washing our clothes at a laundromat. And of course he never offered to come with me and help. He would stay home and sleep late and lay around our apartment doing nothing. And I would go wash the 5 loads of laundry that we had every week. And in the morning, I would be leaving. I would be loading up the baskets of laundry into the car, and he would be whining and complaining that I would not go snuggle in bed with him. And I would be saying, you know, I want to go get this done early so I can enjoy the rest of my Saturday with you. And I'd rather get it done sooner than later, because the later it gets, the more crowded it gets at the laundromat. And as I would be bringing the baskets out the apartment to the car, he'd be yelling from the bedroom, "Mean pants," because I wouldn't stay in bed with him and basically lay there and watch him sleep, because he wanted to continue sleeping. And that continued on throughout the marriage, that I would wake up. I'm a little more of a morning person than he is. I would wake up and I'd want to get up and start my day. And of course, you know, since I did everything and he did not help me, I usually wanted to get up and start my day. And he expected me to lay in bed even though I was awake and I was pretty much done with sleeping, and he would expect me to just lay there and watch him sleep. Oh, and don't forget tickle his back. Of course, you know, remember he likes the tickling thing. Wanted me to lay in bed and tickle his back and watch him sleep. And if I didn't do that, I was a selfish mean pants. So that's name calling in a nutshell. And name calling is often used in combination with other tactics, such as judging and criticizing. And they also, you know, you'll notice they resort to the name calling when you throw facts in their face and logic and irrefutable evidence that the argument that they're screaming at you is bullshit. They don't like when you prove them wrong. So oftentimes that's when they're going to resort to name calling. Or if you're just not getting pumped up enough and they really want to argue and you're not taking the bait, so they'll often use name calling at a time like that, like to try and get you riled up and get you sucked into that circular argument that goes on and on and on for hours. That's another way that they'll use it. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up right here, and I would love to hear from you if you want to share your narcissist's favorite name that they scream at you. Oh, and it's perfectly okay for you to name call them after you leave them. That's part of my recovery. I feel free to call my narcissist names, and of course I don't do that to his face. I'm not gonna engage him any longer, but you know, I will call him names in my videos, and I feel perfectly justified in doing so. So, yes, please comment down below, share the names that your narcissist used to scream at you. Thank you very much for listening.